Which subjects does the University of Bristol have a particularly strong reputation in?
I think, like we mentioned earlier, as a Russell Group university and as a top 10 UK university, all of our courses tend to be very high quality. And even within that, I think 26 of our subjects were recently ranked in the world's top 100, according to the most recent QS World subject rankings. But I think even within that, we have to kind of look at what I think personally, I think if I had to highlight some of the things that Bristol does particularly well at, it would be maybe our law school, our medicine school, our School of Medicine and Dentistry. They do really well too. Our life sciences department, as well as our engineering. I was going to kind of give a little bit of an overview over some of the things I just mentioned. So I think for our law school, we've been around for a really long time, for around a century. It's the law school is hosted and housed in one of the university's most iconic buildings. If you ever like see any University of Bristol kind of advertisement, or if anyone ever like talks about it in terms of what buildings are iconic to the University of Bristol, but also the city of Bristol, people will always talk about the Wills Memorial Building. It's a beautiful, kind of building that's in the center of like the city, in the center of our campus. It ranks in the top 10 for the UK, and that's according to multiple different subject guides, so the Complete University Guide of 2025 and the QS World Subject Rankings for 2024. And it has a really dedicated kind of group of alumni supporting the students. It has a lot of different clubs, a lot of different societies. We have different, law clubs and clinics that allow students to have access to work experience during their time as students, not professional work experience, but being able to work with kind of local community and real people solving real life issues, which can be really, really useful both at an undergraduate and postgraduate level. So I think law school is really good for that. And again, it has really good graduate outcomes. A lot of law school students go into work within corporate law in London or in Bristol, a lot of them within Magic Circle firms. So yeah, that's a really good, I think, thing to highlight. But also within life sciences, as a top 10 UK university, all within life sciences, Bristol's top 10 within UK's top 10 for biological sciences, again, according to the QS. And this is across a lot of different kind of scales and measures, so across molecular, cellular, tissue, and organ systems, levels for the behavioral, social, and environmental. So we cover a lot within biological sciences. We have really hands-on facilities, so like specialist labs and state-of-the-art human patient simulation software, very unique kind of like lab guides. So students, especially undergraduate students, can have kind of an understanding of what kind of lab work they'll be doing before they even come in, because we send them like a manual and like videos to follow and stuff like that. So it's kind of like pre-preparation, so students can come in and kind of get hands in the stuff they do. Students don't have kind of unsupervised lab work until I think postgraduate level, or at least their last year, but they do kind of have access to a lot of lab work right from the beginning, or they get to see research-led, and they get to have research-led teaching right from the beginning. The university has, within biological science especially, really strong partnerships with the BBC, Cambridge Cognition Syngenta, and again, Bristol is a university that really values kind of interdisciplinary teaching and interdisciplinary kind of outcomes as well. So I think something that's quite interesting that I like to point out about biology, especially, is that while Bristol's really good at like the theoretical part of biology, it's also really good at kind of helping students navigate the kind of interest they might have with that. So Bristol's a UNESCO City of Film, which is kind of like weird to point out here, but it makes sense because Bristol scientists have worked quite closely with a lot of different green documentaries that have kind of come out in the past. They work quite closely with David Attenborough, who's like quite known for his green documentaries. I think Bristol as a city was made a UNESCO City of Film in 1957. And sorry, the BBC Natural History Unit was created in Bristol in 1957, which made Bristol a UNESCO City of Film. And it's kind of association, all the film production companies that are established in Bristol have kind of made it known as Green Hollywood, which is interesting because of the work that our scientists have done in collaboration with all of these different kind of films that have come out in the past. We've established a new course known as Science of Communication for a Better Planet at postgraduate degree, at postgraduate level, which kind of talks about how scientific knowledge can be communicated to people in a way that's digestible to them in like common terms, and which is quite important and ties into our kind of research aims of making sustainability and climate change at the forefront of what we do, and have interest in. And finally, I think another thing that's really good to highlight and that Bristol does really well at is aerospace engineering. We're ranked second for aerospace engineering according to the Guardian University Guide 2024. And Bristol has had really strong ties to the aerospace industry, dating back to 1910 when the Bristol Aeroplane Company was founded. Really close to Bristol, kind of on the outskirts of Bristol, are huge companies such as Airbus, Rolls-Royce, Leonardo Helicopters, and etc. And Bristol has really strong research ties to them, but also a lot of our students go on to work for them or do placements with them. Bristol as a university has really state-of-the-art equipment, including wind tunnels, supercomputers, etc., that kind of help our students while they're here, both at postgraduate level, maybe when they're doing research, but also at undergraduate level to have exposure to and understand how these components work. We're also at the heart of research into composites. So the university founded and collaborates with the National Composite Centre, which helps transition new technologies from academia to industry directly, and has seen a development of spin-out companies by university professors and students alike, such as iComat, which is kind of a recent company that's been, actually it's not that recent, but it's been around for a while, and it was kind of, it came from University of Bristol staff and students.